Welcome to Beyond Marketing, the podcast. I'm Maira Genovese. I'm the CEO and founder of Imaging Power, a global integrated market agency. Today's guest went from Ecuador to the global stage. So he's the leader for one of the most iconic brands on earth. Javier Meza is the president and CMO for Europe at the Coca-Cola Company, where he's not just driving campaigns, but he's shaping culture. From cans to classrooms, from product to purpose, this episode is all about leading with curiosity, staying rooted, and creating experience that truly connected. Welcome to Beyond Marketing, the podcast, Javier.
Thanks a lot for having me here, and really looking forward to this conversation. I'm sure it's going to be super fun for me and hopefully for you and the people looking at us.
Amazing. I'm so excited to have you. So we've met through a common friend.
That's right.
And then we started talking. And in person, we met when, like 3 months, 4 months ago?
Probably, yeah. Because as you know, I live in Dublin, not in London.
And travels a lot.
And I travel a lot, yeah.
And the day we had the dinner was just so like fascinating for me, not just to hear about, the amazing work that you've been doing for Coca-Cola for 27 years, yeah. Which is incredible. But your personal story, so how you get to where you are today, because you're from Ecuador, I am from Brazil, and we're both Latinos, and we know how it takes to be here, right? So it is a long journey when you're an immigrant, especially when you're coming from Latin America. That is not North America, is not Europe. So the challenge sometimes that can be, even harder. And I want to know about your story and introduce yourself, because you're such an inspiration, again, not just for what you have been doing for Coca, but your personal story.
Yes, thank you, Maira. And exactly that. So I'm from Ecuador. But I after a while, I started to say I'm Latino. And after a while, I've been trying to be a global citizen, like have more open-minded. But let me go back to the story. So I'm from Ecuador. And I was born not even in the capital city. I was born in a small town that is 50,000 inhabitants today. So when you think about those days, I always tell, if someone would have asked my mom, so do you imagine Javier one day sitting in London with Maira talking about Coca-Cola Company in Europe? She would say it's impossible. There's, probabilities are all against that. So I would say for me, my personal story is a story of pushing boundaries, of remaining humble and learning. And of course, I've been lucky many times, but every time that I was lucky, I was working. So luck arrived when I was busy doing things. And of course, also a lot of sponsors and coaches that helped me shape this journey. But I would say it's a story of pushing the boundaries, pushing your own boundaries, going for more. Yeah.
And how do you define push for boundaries? It's doing, not being satisfied with what you're doing, and then doing more and
yeah, and it's about embracing this idea of getting out of your comfort zone and feeling uncomfortable for a while, and honestly managing fear. I have, like any one of us, a lot of fears in my life. But I'm really good at dealing with that. I'll tell you some stories about how I've done that. But it started 5 years old. My mom, and I need to be super grateful, she's in Ecuador still with us. And she said, we are moving to the capital city because I want my kids to have the best education possible. And that's not happening in this town. It's going to happen in the capital city.
Capital.
So that was the first pushing the boundaries, right? My boundary until then was my small town. And then suddenly I remember with 5 years old, almost 6 years old, getting to the capital city and looking around and saying, oh my God, now I live here. This is a different game.
And then you were just the only son, or you have brothers and sisters?
We are three brothers. I'm the one in the middle. So I remember walking my brothers to the new school and look at the city, huge compared to where I was coming from. And then when I was 8 years old, I came back from school and my mom said, hey, there's this German school and we believe that you should go to this German school because they are looking for talented kids and go there. And I changed to the German school.
Without speaking German?
And then I learned German when I was 8 years old in Ecuador.
Wow.
So I learned German before English, actually. But it was again pushing the boundaries, right? Because my world expanded again. And we are talking the days of no internet, no smartphones. So you would know about other part of the world. Traveling was not my case.
Newspaper.
Reading books, newspapers, or TV. But I was going in the morning to this German school, interacting with German colleagues, and then back to my Ecuadorian family. This was amazing because it started opening my mind into diversity and tolerance and accepting differences and understanding that your culture is not necessarily exactly the same everywhere. So this idea of pushing the boundaries.
And then from Ecuador, when you actually left Ecuador, which age?
I was 17 years old, so I graduated from high school.
Okay.
And I went to this wonderful country called Brazil.
Yes.
To do my college, my university.
Which is actually close to where I was born. Ribeirão Preto, and you did São Carlos.
Like
yes.
less than an hour away.
Yeah.
And I remember, and that was my first international trip. The first time I went outside Ecuador
was Brazil
to study, 5 years. And I remember the night I arrived to São Paulo.
Wow, yeah, crazy São Paulo.
So again, the same feeling of, wow, this is bigger. So, that years later, the same feeling like, wow, this is much bigger. And I remember going to university, interacting mostly with Brazilian colleagues, very smart people, and say, wow, there's a lot of smart people in the world that I can learn from. So this idea of expanding the limits, remaining humble to learn is really what I've been trying to do in every important moment of my career. Yeah.
And then when you went to Brazil, you went to study
chemical engineering. And no, I don't have the Coca-Cola formula.
Yes. Because I think that's the most interesting part. So you didn't go to Brazil to study marketing, branding, advertising. You went to Brazil to study chemical engineering.
Yes.
And then how does this whole change? Because like it's an amazing, like I love to say they push the boundaries, but it looks like the universe and the world were presenting you the opportunities and you were just jumping into it. So you're not like afraid of taking risk and trying new things. And as you were expanding, you were kind of starting to understand like the world is so big and that there's so much to learn from each individual, each culture, and you're not afraid of arriving, for example, in São Paulo and say, okay, let's see what this place has to offer. And then transitions like chemical engineer to now working for Coca-Cola for 27 years.
Yeah.
So what's the story? What's the link?
So I finished this chemical engineering. And by the way, I still have in my day-to-day 2 things from those days. One is this bias to solving problems.
Okay.
I don't, when a problem comes up, my engineer mindset is, okay, we'll solve this. That's what basic engineers do, right? They solve problems.
So you take problems more easier.
Yeah, I don't suffer with the problems.
Okay, interesting.
We will solve this. And the second thing I have is the analytical power of the engineer.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%.
Okay. Let me understand and synthesize and come up with, okay, make sense of the problem, so can give a path. Okay, this could be the solution. But then I went back to Ecuador after finishing my chemical engineering. And I went for an interview in an American company. It's called Warner Lambert. Mm-hmm. It became later Kraft and Pfizer acquired part of the company. But those days, I went to the interview, and I had an interview for a job with the marketing leader of the company.
In Brazil?
In Ecuador.
In Ecuador.
And it was a very nice conversation, a lot of chemistry. And we were talking about Brazil and what I have done and life experiences. And then he said, hey, I'm going to hire you. You want to be my marketing trainee? And I was like, hey, wait. I'm a chemical engineer. And he said, oh, then you should be talking to the other Eduardo, same name. He says, I'm the marketing guy. The other Eduardo is the production. And he has a job opening as well. And they said, but honestly, do marketing. I'll teach you. And I said, okay. I mean, I had this human being saying, I am committing to teach you something.
This is wonderful.
And they're going to pay for me to do that. I said, yeah, Give that to me. So I became marketing trainee overnight.
Overnight. Wow.
Yeah. And it's this idea of, what could go wrong, even if it doesn't
And
work
if
for
it
me.
goes wrong,
I
and
was
it's
22 years old. I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll learn. And that's how I started marketing.
It's the openness of like, okay, if this is coming to my way, maybe there's something here that I needed to explore and learn. It's just important to read the signs.
And also trust people. And this is the idea of the mentors. Trust people that can see things in you that you have not seen yet. This is super important, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
And when I moved to London, it's been 21 years now here. And then I have one person as well. Like she's one of my greatest friends, but she was my mentor. And I remember after being 3 years here, I was still not yet where I wanted to be because I wanted to be marketing in a luxury. And then she did the same thing because I couldn't even speak English properly. But she said, I trust you and I can teach you and I'm going to give you this chance, but you're going to have to do exactly what I'm going to say for you to do it. And if you do this, you will succeed. And then it's the same kind of thing, is trusting people. And then when you have people that can, exactly what is that can see things that sometimes you have the imposter syndrome that, oh my God, maybe I will not be able to. Maybe this is going to be too much. I'm not good enough. But then when you have those, I call them angels that come across your life and say, no, I can see it and I will help. I think that's the beauty of the life journey, right?
And this is a powerful phrase. I still use that when I see young talent that, needs empowerment. A super empowering phrase is, I believe in you. That's so powerful when you see that and you mean it. So powerful. And that's what happened to me. This guy said, I believe in you. I'll teach you marketing. So I did it. I took it. And 2 years later, they came and said, hey, you are doing really well. We want to pay an MBA for you so you can work, do the part-time MBA. And I did it. So I went to do MBA.
In Ecuador?
In Ecuador. I was doing classes Monday night, Friday night, and all the weekend for 2 years. It was intense, but it was good. And in the MBA, I ended studying with Coca-Cola people.
You met them there?
Yes, and they were like, you are coming to work with us. The day I graduated, they said, okay, give us the resume, you are coming to Coke. And that's how I ended in Coca-Cola.
And how old you were at that time?
How?
How old?
When I joined Coke, I was 27.
So you graduated for MBA and then went straight to Coca-Cola
right away
in Ecuador for marketing.
Yes.
Have you ever imagined that one day you would be as a...
My first day at Coke, sorry to interrupt, my first day at Coke, I took consciousness that, okay, this is life-changing.
So you had that conscious?
I had, because of the company I was working for was great. It's an American company. But when I get to Coke, the scale, the depth of the discussions, it's a different dimension. And I said, oh my God, this is life-changing.
So you felt that?
Yeah.
No, I think you felt that, but also maybe you manifest that for yourself, right?
Could be. But listen, when I came to Coke, I still had this idea of I'm gonna do this for 10 years. And the only reason is I wanted to do, and I still want to do other things that I still want to do. I will do later. Yeah. I still have my dreams there. And I said, okay, I'm going to do 10 years this, and then move and do for 10 years another thing, and then for 10 years another thing. That was kind of my idea.
Your idea.
But the reality is that in Coke, I was never bored. I never stayed in the same country more than 3 years with Coke. So I've been changing countries every
Let's talk about that.
2-3 years.
Never stay in the same country for more than 3 years.
Yes, working with Coke, yeah.
So what are the countries that you've been around?
So I started in Ecuador. I stayed 3 years there. I went to Buenos Aires for 2 years. Then I went to Peru, 2 years. Then I went back to Buenos Aires, but doing Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay. I did that for 2 years. Then I did another 2 years, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay. Then I moved to Costa Rica, and I was leading marketing for Central America, Caribbean, and Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela. By the way, it's interesting because we are Latinos. Every time I was saying Latin America, people in the Caribbean said, yeah, but we are not Latin America. So I had to change my language and say, I am the marketing person for Latin America and the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean,
Very
so you
interesting.
have to adapt to the culture.
So Costa Rica, 2 years, back to Brazil. I was in Rio for 3 years. From them, I went to Atlanta, finally the headquarters.
Yeah.
From them, I went to Singapore, and I led marketing for Asia Pacific. That's
amazing.
Life-changing experience.
I can imagine.
Back to Atlanta, back to Latin America, and 2 years back, I came to Dublin to lead marketing in Europe. Yeah, a lot of movement.
Wow.
And I think part of the reasons I've been doing this for so long is because of that. You know, I was always offered new opportunities for learn, and learning for me is a big part of what make me really passionate. The second thing is you work with a lot of super talented and super capable people that you can learn from. So if you want to learn digital, there's people that can teach me, and I do that. I ask questions a lot. If I want to learn legal, HR, PAC, so you name it, Coca-Cola has so many resources and smart people. And the third thing is the opportunity to see the world. Yeah, I've been
learn cultures
and learn cultures,
diversity, and learn.
So my 10 years plan didn't work, and it's been 27 years.
But the thing is, like, as you're talking about the countries that you have been moving the past 20 years, it's go back to what you said at the beginning, pushing boundaries. You never stop pushing boundaries, because moving countries is still a way of you pushing boundaries. Because you could say, no, I'm comfortable here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's keep myself here. No, you're never afraid to continue to push boundaries until this day.
And taking the opportunities, because as you said, two things. One is when I moved from outside Latin America to the headquarters, was one of those moments I said, okay, let me see if I can still operate effectively in this global landscape. Because in Latin America had become my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I was respected, known in Latin America. Okay, let's go and do this globally. And the second thing is I was doing global, and I got this phone call from our now president of the company, John Murphy. He says, hey, I just took a job as Asia Pacific president. I'm moving to Singapore, and I would like to have a good person for marketing. And because I trust you, can you recommend me 2 names? Give me 2 names that you trust.
They can come here.
That I'm going to interview and select one of them. And I said, good, I can help with that. What's the brief? What are you looking for? He said, well, I would love to have you. I would love to have you, but I was already told that's not possible. And I said, wait, why not? Yeah, not at this moment. They need you in Atlanta. So I said, let me have a conversation with my boss. And I went and talked to Marcos de Quinto at the time and said, Marcos, let me go to Asia. I really want to live the Asia experience. And then, eventually I convinced him, and I said, okay, you can go to Asia. So once again, jumping into something.
You're jumping into opportunities for learning. Because what I can see from you, you're very curious.
Super.
You never stop being challenging yourself to learn new things, because I can see that you're very curious.
Yeah. And the underlying motivation or thinking was, if I keep learning and living new experiences, opportunities will continue to come up. So I never had a plan if I do this job, then I can be promoted here and then promoted. I didn't have that. It was more like keep learning.
That's what I think that was in my head to ask you. If every time you're moving or taking a new opportunity, if in your mind there was a plan okay, I'm going to do this because if I move that, then eventually I can become the CMO. And then if I did this, I can be... So you never thought about titles, was more about learning. And
I'll tell you why. One of the questions when it comes leading people, leading organizations, but especially leading people is the definition of who's strong, right? Is this person strong or not? And, I started to think about this definition of a strong a while ago. What does it mean to be strong? And I came up with 4 dimensions that make someone strong. The first one is the skills. What are you good at? The inherent things, right? I know I am good at learning. I am good at strategic thinking. I am good at relationship. And I am an achiever. I want someone that gets things done. I am good at that. And that's my skill set. And I'm going to take that wherever I go. That's mine. That's me.
Okay, interesting.
The second part is education, knowledge. We need knowledge.
We need knowledge, yeah.
And the knowledge, the good news about knowledge is relatively easy to access knowledge these days.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. You go online and you have a lot of knowledge. The bad news is knowledge is needed, but it's not what's going to differentiate you. It's not. Now, I was talking the other day with some people graduating from college in US, and I asked this person, we were having a one-on-one about this topic, same conversation. And I said, how many people are graduating with you? She said, 200 people. So, okay, they have the same knowledge you have, basically. So if you think that your knowledge is going to set apart from them,
it's wrong.
It's wrong. Now, you still need knowledge.
Yeah.
And you still need to keep updating your knowledge. Right? When I started doing marketing, there was not smartphones, no programmatic, there was no AI. So I keep learning. Knowledge is important. It's very important. The third part is experiences, because experience matters. And my definition was, the broader the experiences, the better. Because I could have remained in Ecuador doing my job for 20 years.
You would have the knowledge.
The knowledge and the same experience again and again and again. Instead of that, I decided always to take career moves that would expand my set of experiences. So I can tell you now, I've been in India, and I understand the juice industry in India. I understand why mango juice is so important in India, because I was there. So experience is really important. And experience is the most costly, as you know. Knowledge can be costly, but experience is I had to pack my house, go to Singapore, get a new driving license, learn. It's costly, but it's rewarding. And the fourth is attitude. The fourth one is attitude. Is if you have the mindset that going for more. Yeah.
And I love that, because like when I am interviewing people, when I'm looking to recruit, I'm never attached to the CV, because I like life experience.
That's it.
I love to hear about the story of the person, and if that story and that experience it touched me, and I can see that from that experience that person can thrive in the role that I'm recruiting. The CV becomes for me just a CV with knowledge, which again, of course, it is important. But experience is just in stories to why the person that is trying to get a job, or someone like I don't know, Coca-Cola is probably the same. So you have people from all over the world, the diversity. And I think that's the beauty when you have a company where you have people from Colombia, like I have Andrea here, and then you have Brazilians and Italians, and listen to their stories, like why they're here, right? Why they wanted to be working in London.
Yeah. And I think diversity, this is something I also explore a lot when I interview candidates. Diversity today is a given.
Yeah, it's a given.
Harnessing the power of diversity.
Oh, yes.
That's
beautiful.
The magic. The concept of inclusiveness and how you do that. And I started reflecting about that when I moved to this global role, because in Latin America, we have Portuguese and Spanish, but a very similar mindset. You could argue that, again, the Caribbean, some differences. And yes, maybe Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, some differences. But the rest of Latin America, we are like one. But the moment you need to go to Asia, for example, and I had to go and have meetings in Japan, and then the next day in India,
that's different.
Oh my God, you need to be flexible in your style to be effective. And this is something I also learned in those days, which is, I really believe this. I don't get paid by Coke to be right or wrong. That's not the conversation. I get paid to be effective. So it doesn't matter if I am right or wrong, or the other person is right or wrong. That's not the point.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is, what is the best idea that can be effective? Okay, let's jump into that and move. And that helped me manage my ego. That all of us have ego. I have my ego, but I have it very well trained. I try to keep it under control.
How do you control your ego?
When I moved to Atlanta, to the global headquarters, and I started going to having meetings with the CEO and COO and this president, and say, oh my God, so many characters and figures here all
Americans.
days. And I said, I was doing a mental exercise in the morning, leaving house. I would say, I'm going to leave my ego here at house, at the door entrance. I'm going to go to Coca-Cola, do what I need to do to be effective. And then when I come back at night, I will pick my ego back. And I had that's mental figure. It was like...
that's a very good tip for an exercise. Because
so it was a conscious decision.
There's a conscious decision. But to take to that place of conscious decision, you have to be very mature and conscious of your ego.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, because it's not everyone that is conscious of ego, because we all have ego, as you said, but it's just like how you use your ego.
Yeah.
And ensuring that you're using it at the right place. And most important, maybe if you're just using at night and when you're at home, this is the best way of managing your ego. And then picking up on the leadership, because what you said now, it's amazing, because you're saying that it's not just about, like, we're talking about pushing boundaries, taking risk, learning about culture, learning about different markets, how to be effective. But then comes leadership. Right? Because you're moving to one country to another where people are different. And then what is your style of leadership? And how did you evolve your leadership skills over time?
Yeah. Maybe 3 things to share with you. The first one is I really believe in this simple model that leadership starts with yourself. So leading yourself is the first dimension of leadership. And sometimes it's the more tough one. Yeah, tough one. Because of egos, because of sometimes fears, sometimes beliefs we have. But challenging your own beliefs to improve, that's the most important dimension of leadership, I guess. There's no way you lead other people if you don't lead yourself, right?
100%.
So, self-awareness, self-understanding. I monitor my feelings a lot in the context of work.
How do you do that?
I'm introvert to start with, so I'm looking inside me a lot, my feelings. But I've been in many situations in which I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose control here, and I say, hey team, let's take a 5 minutes break. I need a bio break. Boom, camera off, just to breathe and recenter, because I monitor my feelings and I say, okay, I'm getting impatient here. I'm gonna explode, and that's not gonna be nice. So I take a break. I do a lot of this, breathe before going into the meeting. I do a lot of, the famous pre-reads for the meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
So a lot of people say, oh, here's the pre-read. And then you go and read, okay, I'm going to be ready with the content. But I also think, how do I want to show up in that meeting? What's going to be my role as leader? I'm going to be inspirational, raise the bar, or going to be more like, hey, let's go get this done, like a warrior, go, go, go. Or going to be the skeptical that ask questions to check if the team has really... So I decide, depending on the topic, what is the leadership role I want to play? But that requires managing yourself.
Yeah, it requires a lot of managing
Very important.
Yourself.
The second part is this idea of leading people, the second dimension. And leading people, my belief is there's no way you can lead people, especially the ones that are closer to you, because we are leader of leaders at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%.
When I have to start, it's always, let me get to know the person. And I try to have this one-on-one. The first conversation when I arrived to Europe, first call with my one-on-one with my direct reports, 5 questions I ask them systematically.
What are the 5 questions?
And it works a lot. The first question is, who are you? So it would be, who is Maira? And then sometimes people say, oh, I am the marketing man. No.
Who are you?
That's your job. Who are you? And that's an amazing question to ask as well. Because when people realize that you are really interested in knowing the person,
it changes everything.
The eyes shine. You can see that. People, they illuminate. They're like, oh, let me tell you who I am. It's amazing. The second question is then the experience and the studies. Okay, what did you study? What have you done? Tell me a little bit about your career. What have you done? The third one, and this was also learning from me, used to be, what's your ambition? Professionally. And I was doing this conversation years ago with the Brazilian Michel Gomberg, and he looked at me and said, hey, we are not like you. Not everyone is like you, moved by ambition. I am moved by dreams. And I was like, wow. Tell me more, Michel. And then he explained to me his definition. So now I ask those 2 questions. What are your dreams, or what are your ambitions?
What are the ambitions?
Very interesting.
Is the ambition things is a very good comment, because what I've been learning throughout the years of, being a leader as well, is that everyone's objective and ambitions at work, it's so different. Because there are people that are ambitious because they are driven. They really wanted to grow. The titles are very important. And there are some that they really want to have a stable job from 9 to 6 and that's how they see work life. That doesn't mean because they only want to be there for 9 to 6, that doesn't mean they're not being effective, and that doesn't mean that they don't have a dreams and ambitions. They're all, it's just, and that's the beauty when you start, understanding who you are and what is your dreams, because it's different, and you have to work psychology, because you cannot make someone that is effective at their job, they're very good what they are, but they're not driven, they're happy where they are. You cannot push the boundaries that person, because you already understood what is that person's ambition. And then and understanding that without being judgmental, but also be a good leader and support that, I think it's the beauty of leadership.
Because at the end of the day, as I said before, I don't need to be right or wrong, and it's just been effective. And in this case, helping people. I find fulfillment in helping people progress. So the fourth question is, what are you good at? What are you good at? The first, remember the skills. And the reason I ask this question is because many times people have not, young people probably have not reflected yet
what they're good at.
And sometimes people say, I know how to do activations because I did the FIFA World Cup activation in Brazil. So no, that's experience. It's important, but it's not the question, the answer. Oh, I know how to do Excels. Yeah, that's knowledge. It's not a question. What are you good at? And this is a very important question to ask people, because you empower them to think and reflect. And the reason I ask this question is because I really believe that you will only shine professionally when you use your skills. If I use this analogy: Messi and Tiger Woods, rock stars in their fields. Imagine you say, we will swap them. Okay, Messi, you're gonna play golf. So, but I don't know how to play golf. We will teach you. We will put a professor, so we will give you knowledge. Okay, but I don't have experience. Don't worry, you're gonna put you in the next 12 golf tournaments, so you have a lot of experience. Good. Well, I'm not motivated. Well, we will pay you a lot of money, so you are motivated for 12 months.
12 months.
And maybe he's still gonna be just fine, because the talent, the skills are not there. So when you try to put people to shine using skills they don't have, it's just fine. So understanding what are you good at is so important, so you can offer people the type of experiences and jobs that are gonna make them shine. And the last question is, how can I help you? How can I help you? At a personal level.
I love that.
So that's leading people.
There's leading people. So these are the first, the 5 questions that you always ask.
Because if not, there is no easy to lead people, right?
I think it's the most challenging thing of.
The other thing that answering to your question is authenticity matters when leading people.
Yes.
No, when they see that you are not saying one thing and doing other. Authenticity also doesn't mean that you need to say everything you think.
Yes.
But it is that whatever you say, you need to mean it.
But it's difficult sometimes not to say everything that you think. And then this goes back to your self-awareness.
Yes. And also understanding that as a leader, I really believe in this. The more senior I became, the less spontaneous I can be. So I need to be thoughtful.
I'm learning that.
I need to be thoughtful of the impact of the things I do.
Yeah, but it's a self-awareness, because
Super
you are
important.
someone that you're saying that you're introvert, but you're very spontaneous. I'm a very spontaneous person. I'm a very, and sometimes I go like, but like as more you grow, it's just like there needs to be put boundaries on how spontaneous you can be. But it goes back to the self-awareness.
And because of that, one of the things I do a lot is check the gap between intent and impact.
Yes.
As a leader, you might have an intent, but the impact could be different. So check that gap is important. Sometimes I'm very explicit. Like I'm in meetings and people presenting ideas, projects to me. And if I want to make a comment, I am super explicit. This is just a comment. It's not a decision.
Okay, so you say that.
To make sure that the intent and impact are the same.
As the same.
Because there's a risk always, right? Oh, I don't like this. And then people go and change it. No, you don't need to change anything. I just said that I don't like it. Doesn't mean that you need to change it.
Exactly.
So differentiate point of views from decisions. Differentiate when you didn't like something or just provoking. So I use a lot that. Hey, I'm going to make a comment that may sound mean, but it's not the intent. I'm just provoking to elevate this conversation. So I do that a lot.
Very good.
The intent. And then the last dimension of leadership is business leadership. And in business leadership, my thinking is clarity on the destination and strategy, a lot of flexibility in the path and plans.
Yes.
And be willing to challenge the plans, change the plans if needed, which for me is easy, right? Based on my profiles, I am flexible. So for me, changing plans is super easy.
Super easy, but the clarity.
But you need to understand that some people suffer when you change the plan. Because some people need a structure. Yeah. They need, right?
They need a plan.
Yeah, so you need to be
play
careful.
around.
But yeah, I am always pushing for, okay, why are we doing this? What's the ultimate objective? And then the how, super flexible.
We can be flexible and fit on.
So leading yourself, leading people, leading the business.
It's a big challenge, but it's exciting at the same time, because you doing that, you grow yourself as well, right? So you're just creating that self-awareness, and then looking, it forces you to look at you as well. Because it's not just about the people, but it's about you. Yeah. But tell me about Coca-Cola now. So all of the story, which is amazing leader, someone that's pushed boundaries, that takes risks, that is always curious, always learning, always willing to learn. So how do you apply all of that knowledge and experience to continue to evolve with Coca-Cola marketing, especially now with so much innovation and technology, because it's a fast-paced environment right now?
It is. Two, three ideas. First one is we are very much globally connected as a network, right? So I work a lot with my peers from all over the world, my global CMO, Manolo, and we have an agenda, transformation agenda on the marketing, which is basically, we started already a couple of years ago, and we're making good progress, but basically we move into a experience-based marketing model. So it's all about creating and co-creating experiences with consumers. And that starts with the packaging, product experiences, QR codes that lands into digital experiences, that also land into retail point of sale experiences. And we connect that also with live experiences. Can be a music festivals, can be FIFA World Cup, can be Premier League that we will be sponsoring now in Europe, well, globally, but it starts in GB. So we have this model of experience-based marketing first. And it's been a journey, because when we started designing this way of working, we had clarity on the destination, but we didn't know how to get there. And we have been learning and adjusting. Part of that is the partnership we have with WPP.
Yeah.
So we created, both for creativity and for consumer engagement, tools together with them to be able to scale all these ideas, because everything I said before about experiences has to be done in a scale.
In the scale,
that is unique, right? Because of course I can do a super nice event for 100 people in London this Friday. That's not going to move the needle.
No, for a brand like Coca-Cola,
for a brand like Coca-Cola, it has to have a scale. And this is my job basically is clarity on the transformation, helping the team to focus on what are the 3-4 things, capabilities we need to build together so we can have a repeatable model that is scalable. Because again, doing one thing well done once is not that difficult.
It's not that difficult.
But doing that across brands, across markets, every day.
And keep it consistent,
that's important. I place as a little bit of visionary. This is what we're trying to do.
Okay.
A little bit of the word that focusing things and put resources, making sure that, okay, forget that, that's not important. We can do that in 3 years, not now, helping with that. But also I play a little bit of the person that protects small ideas and do some, protect experimentation, because before we can scale, we need to check.
We need to change. So you like to test and learn.
We do that a lot.
Okay.
In a smaller scale.
Important.
And then say, we think this works. Okay, now repeat it. I don't do a lot of marketing these days. I don't. Sadly so. But I have a lot of people.
But you have a lot of people
people doing marketing.
Yes. And then like for creative, like you talk about being like to scale, right? Yeah. Which we, for Coca-Cola, it's a must, because as I said, it's a one-off, doesn't move a needle for you guys. But is AI now, it's one of the tools that is going to, or is already supporting Coca-Cola for the scale, especially when it comes to creating content?
Yeah, it's already there, but we are learning and developing capabilities. And I would say it's 3 dimensions in which we're using. The first one is that one, using AI to create better experiences, right? We had, for example, in Christmas, this idea of you can scan a QR code in any Coca-Cola package, and you landed in a side talking to Santa.
That's
And you had a conversation with Santa, and Santa would ask you questions, you answer. And based on that conversation, Santa would create a snow globe that was personalized, was my snow globe from my conversation. And then we could put that or send to friends. So this is the type of AI-enabled experiences. And you name it. We are bringing more and more of that. For EPL, we will have one of them. For FIFA World Cup. So we are doing that consumer experience enabled by AI. The second dimension is, I would say, is more efficiency in the core of what we do. And what is the core that what we do? Understanding consumers. So we are using AI
to support
for insights generation and also AI agents to make it faster to harness insights. Yeah. The second thing we do is develop and create ideas. And this, of course, is still open to debate, but I really believe that the model is going to be HI plus AI. So human ingenuity and artificial intelligence. I still believe that you need humans to understand humans. And one of the ideas I've been sharing internally is 2 ideas I would like to share. One is, data is important, but data without creativity will not differentiate your brand at all. And the second thing I like to say is, I have no doubt AI is changing and disrupting how we do things. But I also am convinced that AI will not change why we do things.
I love that.
The why we do things, which is about understanding humans and then seducing humans with ideas. So the second dimension is this, is more efficiency. And for example, we took a couple of ads now, holidays are coming. It was an existed piece of creativity. We just reproduced that. We updated the content using AI. It was super efficient, less time, lower cost. But from an existing insight and idea. So we didn't replace the creativity process. We updated and improved the production process. More efficient.
That's what the AI would do, right?
And the third part is the supporting function. So we have now, we work with Microsoft. We have Copilot in all our systems. We take meetings that are 1 hour long. It's okay, give me the 5 things I need to know about these meetings. I get decks from sometimes 50 slides, and it's okay, give me 2 pages. What do you need to know? So making more efficient that is also part of that.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think the human connection, we're always going to be here because more and more we're craving that connection, right? So that's why, like example here, like this one of the reason podcast nowadays is so important because the connection, right? And then the person that is listening at home, they can feel that there is a human connection.
Yes, it's
and
real.
The technology is actually enabling the people to actually hear a conversation. So I think it's like the human and AI, it has to be a combo because one is not going to replace the other. It's how you smartly use both, knowing that the humanity is never going to go away because
may I tell you a personal story? My youngest daughter, she was born with a heart congenital failure. Okay. And she went to open heart surgery when she was 2 weeks old. She's 20 now, so
amazing.
Happy life, God bless. But with 2 weeks, she went into a 12 hours open heart surgery. So they removed the heart.
2 years old.
2 weeks old.
2 weeks old. Wow.
Yeah. And I remember talking to the surgeon that was going to do that. And I was thinking, you know what? Yeah, maybe a robot could do that today. But I want a human being there with a robot. There is something in my mind. Maybe I'm still old school, but I still feel that humanity plays a huge role.
Today you do have robots, that does the surgery, but they don't do the surgery alone. So you still have, even with the technology supporting the medicine, because of technology is just supporting any type of, not just marketing, it's everything. But it's still a robot cannot do the surgery without having the doctor next to the robot to kind of manage and guide the robot to do the surgery, right?
And the other thing is, whenever someone tells me, oh, but that's too difficult, I said, I remember that surgery.
And there's like, it's not.
You don't know what's
not,
difficult.
Because it starts with us.
Yeah.
Even to create the technology, to create the AI, it was a human that created that. So it's always starts with us.
Yes.
Regardless of how advanced is the technology we have created as human.
Yeah. And that takes me to the philosophy part of this, which is, and ends with us. Because at the end of the day, what we do cannot put smile in someone's face. It cannot solve some human problem. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever we do. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are humans trying to make humans either happier or progress in life. This is an interesting question. When I think about humankind, and I say, what has been humankind? It's always about this, we are pursuing happiness.
Pursue happiness.
But also progress, right? Progress, like...
We want to evolve, and I think as we get older...
Yes.
I feel like we crave more progress, but not just career progress, but it's just like emotional intelligence, meaning, purpose.
Yes.
Because you're getting older, so you don't know when is your last day. So you want to make the most of it, and getting that sense that you're evolving as a human. And then I love what you said, ending with us. Because I know that one of your dreams is to write a book. I'm not saying that the book is going to be the end of you, but your book is something that is going to be telling your stories, and it's going to be like end with us. It's making a lot of sense for that, like talking about philosophy. And I know you love that connection, philosophy and human and marketing. And I think to have a book to combine all your knowledge and experience and making people smile, because you are such a smiling and warming person. And I think we need to have that book. Tell just a little bit about that dream of, I know you love teaching. I know you love it. That lecture is something that you're very passionate about it. And then your book. And future of Coca-Cola is as a company is just like more 20 years.
I think it's going to be much more than that. Very interesting, because I was going to tell you something that when it comes to philosophy, I feel that sometimes, and that connects with this managing the ego.
Yeah.
Sometimes we live assuming that we will not die ever, right?
But we will.
And sometimes I put that in my head, say, you know what? In a couple of years, I'm going to be dead. And then in a couple of years after that, all the people that know me are going to be dead.
True.
It's not just me, it's everyone.
My mom is in that phase where she's losing a lot of friends. And then she keeps saying, it's crazy that I had phases where my friends were getting like boyfriends and girlfriends, and they start getting married. And then they have started kids. And then we all get older. And now she said, now I feel like I'm in a phase that I'm losing all my friends. And she said, it's not easy.
Of course not.
To think that you can be.
And that puts me back balance in my life. I said, don't take things too seriously. Take people seriously, but not situations.
Yes.
And don't take yourself too seriously. And my idea is, if I can help, especially younger people, with a little bit of experience and in some ideas, I'll try to do that. So that's why philosophy is so important for me. It's this idea of making sense of some things in life. Because, but of course, it's the way life goes. But I wish I had the experience and wisdom I have today when I was 20 years old. But of course, it's impossible because it's a consequence. But then I feel, okay, if I can give back a little bit of that, put in some sense of the things we do. Because honestly, sometimes I think we get so focus on, we need to deliver the P&L, we need to deliver the campaign, we need to win. How many lions are you gonna win in Cannes?
The lions, yes.
You say it's beyond that. Marketing is beyond that. That's why I so love the beyond marketing.
It's a beyond marketing, but it's not everyone that has that knowledge that is beyond marketing.
Yeah.
And then I think people like you, it needs to keep talking about it, because potentially we can get more people to understand that it's beyond marketing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That marketing is just a tool.
So I'm taking some classes now with a philosopher in Argentina.
I love
philosophy classes and writing classes.
Always curious. Always push the boundaries.
I'll do that. I have a couple of dreams still. So this is one, the book. and I want to own a bookstore. Like for me, I went Saturday to a bookstore in Dublin. I promise you, you know when you go to an Italian restaurant and you smell like, well, for me a bookstore is done. I went into the bookstore and I do.
How many books do you read in a month?
No, I'm not a big reader. I'm still buying books, and I keep saying when I stop with Coke, I'm gonna read all these books.
I'm gonna read all these books.
But I read some books, and I read paper book. I love the feeling, the page, right? And I try to read a lot about. I love history as well, so I love reading history books or even history romances, like Brazilian, all this, the trilogy of 1808, 1895. That trilogy was amazing about the Portuguese imperial family. But then I like reading books about philosophy. I'm reading now this El Mundo de Sofía.
Mundo de Sofía.
Yeah, that book about history.
I remember about my father. He used to love O Mundo de Sofía.
And the thing that happens to me is that some ideas, I come back and read them again. So it's not that I read the book and forget. So I have in my iPad, and from time to time, hey, let me
go back.
What was this idea about this, right? And go and read again. I don't read a lot about marketing. I don't.
But that's why you do goods and marketing, because you don't read about marketing.
But I read about digital. I try to understand. I've read a couple of good books about analytics.
Yeah, because it's the knowledge, right? Because I think marketing can become something that is more, let's say, straightforward in a sense.
And I learned a lot of marketing from my colleagues.
From your team,
From my team. I mean, influence marketing. I have Pascal is in my team, amazing guy. He's
doing everything.
Yeah, he can teach me. I mean, literally, I go and say, hey, explain this to me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it. I understand now.
So creators, influencer, sport, experience, all of that combined is very important for Coca-Cola Company to continue.
Yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, our belief is this, is we believe in the branding. That is, we call it the ladder up, which is the product experience matters.
Yeah.
But on top of the product experience, there is a brand idea, a brand promise. And those two things need to be connected.
Yeah.
And that has always been the case, and I don't think that's going to change. That's not the part of the marketing transformation that is changing.
Yes.
The second thing is we really believe in marketing of occasions, which is basically we understand that people, they drink our products and brands in specific occasions for certain motivations. And we humans have different occasions, because I could tell you, hey, I control sugar. I don't want to drink. And in fact, I only drink Coke Zero, no sugar.
Okay.
But then Friday, I can have 3 wines, and I don't care how much sugar is there.
This is a controversy. Yes.
Because it's a different occasion with a different motivation. So we believe a lot in understanding that combination of occasions and motivations.
Interesting.
And we deliver marketing against that. We believe in innovation, because consumers move, competitors move.
By innovation.
So you need to move. We believe a lot in sustainability and the value of sustainability as a brand building experience.
100% is very important.
And we use a lot of marketing assets, passion points, Olympics, FIFA World Cup, Euro Cup, English Premier League. We believe that helps create emotional connection with people. What is really changing is this experience model. So the first two things we've been doing for years. The experience model, instead of broadcasting, but using data and creativity to invite people to create experiences.
It's not the future, it's the present, but it's going to be the big future. Which is
now the last part we need to do at scale. That's my challenge. I can come up with great ideas, but it has to be at scale. That's the challenge.
But I'm sure you're gonna solve that.
Yeah, and that's why we have partners and we work with we are bottlers as well.
Last thing, because I think we have to wrap up, but this conversation is so good.
It's been 10 minutes only.
Yeah, because we don't like talk. We can do another one for more 3 hours. How do you deal with judgment?
Mine or others?
Yours.
Honest answer, I don't judge myself.
And what about when people judge you? How do you deal with that?
And the reason I don't judge myself, I'll answer the question, is when I was 35 years old, more or less, when I faced this situation with my daughter, that was a very before and after moment for me. And I remember physically looking into the mirror and saying, I understand you now. And that's at the moment that I accepted myself with the good, the bad, and the ugly. and I stop judging. I forgive myself a lot. And because of that, I don't judge others. When I feel judgment from the others, to me, I feel uncomfortable, but at this point of life, I don't care too much. I care judgment for specific people, and my family, of course. But in general, I don't care too much. When I see people judging others, especially younger, then I really try to stop that and say, hey, wait. I try to do something about that. Yeah.
I love that you said that you look at yourself at the mirror and that day on,
I forgive myself a lot.
Yourself. And I think that's the beauty of life, is just learning how to forgive ourselves, because sometimes I feel like the judgment that we do to ourselves can be much more prejudiced than the judgment.
And then if you judge yourself, you judge others as well.
Exactly. So it's just like constantly learning how to forgive yourself. Javier, you're amazing. When we can have your book?
Oh yeah, coming soon.
Coming soon. Okay, guys, coming soon. Just like, keep watching what he's doing, because the book is coming soon. Because I'm sure there's so much more stories that this book will be telling. You're like such an inspirational person with your story, but also such an inspiring, leader. And, person that is driving what Coca-Cola Company is doing. Being there for 27 years is a great testament of who you are, right? And your dreams and your ambitions, and you're pushing boundaries. And if you're there, it's just probably because you're making a huge impact to that company, and they're very lucky
thank you, Maira.
to have you.
And congrats on the podcast. Really.
Thank you so much. Very grateful for you to spend your time here, because I know your agenda, it's quite busy, traveling a lot. So I feel very privileged and very honored to have had this opportunity to talk with you over an hour, I believe. Okay. So thank you so much for everyone that's listening to our podcast today. I hope you have enjoyed as much as I have enjoyed. So it's an amazing, inspiring, person. And as I said to Javier, I'm very grateful that we had the chance to bring him to the Beyond Marketing, the podcast. So hope you have enjoyed. If you're not following us yet, please make sure you do on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. And I see you guys on our next episode. And thank you again for being with us today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.